Many times when I am interviewed on a podcast, somebody else's, or I am asked in a talk, what is it that I need to do to change? Like, what's the first thing that I need to do? And the first thing you need to do for change to happen, and it is the first step, and I would say it's the first step of 3 steps as the key to change. And the first step is awareness. Today is all about awareness and the power it will have for you when you truly understand it. So I hope that you will stay with me today and glean from me what I teach my clients, what we talk about in my workshops, so that you can start to make change an integral part of your life. I am Claudia Braun, mindset, lifestyle, and EFT coach for women ready to start saying yes to themselves. And I'd love to invite you to take the 3-step practice guide that I have put together. It's a practice guide for you to put into practice in your life. And it's 3 steps to change. And it's a really great, simple outline that basically walks you through processes that will help you start saying yes to you. So if you're finding yourself yesing people when you wish you weren't, this is for you. The download link is in the show notes. So, awareness, your key to change. The power of awareness. The thing is that unless you know exactly what you are doing, you can't change. And if you think you are, let's say, taking care of yourself, and then you really start to look at what your day looks like, your morning routine, or maybe you don't have a morning routine, your food plan, or maybe you don't have a food plan, your activities, maybe you don't have any activities, your interactions with other people, and you start to see things through a different lens. You start to get, oh my gosh, I'm really not taking care of myself. So that's the thing about awareness. Awareness allows you to have clarity. When I work with my clients, I help them create a vision. But the first step is always clarity. Without clarity, we cannot create a vision. Without a vision, you can't get to where you want to go. So unless you have clear awareness of what's really going on, things will never change. So often, we want to look outside of ourselves and think, they're the problem. They need to change. If they would only be different, you would be different. But my friend, that's not how it works. They may change. They may make that decision. But you are the only one who has the power to change. And if you don't know what's really going on, how can you change it? Right? It's like going to go, say you want to lose weight. I use this example often because so many people do want to lose weight, and also you can understand the process involved. So say you want to lose weight and you go on some diet plan, and then you get into it and you realize you can't follow it. But unless you have the awareness of what is going on in your life that's keeping you from following it, you'll never do anything differently. Because then you go, okay, that's the problem, and I'll go get something else. But you didn't figure out through your awareness of what actually is going on. Say it is around a diet situation. I always have my clients look at what their lifestyle is like, what their days are like. Don't compare it to somebody else, because if somebody else has the time to do things that you don't have the time to do, know that what they do is not going to work for you. It doesn't mean there's something flawed in you. It just means your lifestyle is not compatible with that. But you see, it takes the awareness and clarity of what's really going on. I had a client who I worked with who wanted to lose weight, and he was a CEO of a company, and he kept getting into these, he'd lose weight, he'd put it back on, he'd lose weight, he'd put it back on. And when we started working together, he started to realize all the things that he was saying yes to that got in the way from him being able to commit to a plan that was going to work for him. But prior to that, he didn't understand, he didn't see. And then when we started working together, he then discovered he would just go along with what his wife wanted. And she didn't want to lose weight. She didn't have any interest in being healthy. And so it became a detriment to his eating. It became a detriment to his intentions. He didn't really want to look at that before we started working together because he didn't want to address that with his wife. So you see how you can put this spin on things and think it's one thing, but unless you get clarity, you can't change it. And the truth is, you may get clarity and then go, well, I'm not going to change that. And that's okay too. But clarity gives you choice. Awareness gives you choice. If you don't have the awareness of what's going on, it's like moving through fog. And you just keep doing same old, and being in the automatic. Again, as Einstein said, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So awareness is the key and also stops you from doing same thing over and over again and same old. Allowing you to see things accurately. When you see things accurately, you can reassess. You can course correct. If you're a gardener, it's like you have to assess your soil. You have to assess the environment. What was it that caused those seeds not to grow? What was it that caused them to grow and then stop growing? What caused them to bud and then not bloom? Like every step of the way, you're kind of reevaluating through your awareness what's really going on. Otherwise, you can just say, I don't know, I'll just throw it out and start over again. You can do that, but you didn't then learn from the experience. And that, to me, is the key of awareness and why it is part of a 3-step process. And I will talk to you next week about step 2, but step 1 is essential. You can't go to step 2 unless you have step 1. So many people want to go from, I don't like how things are, you're overdoing, you're overgiving, you're overcommitting, you don't like how it is, and then you jump into action. Okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to quit everything, or I'm going to just, tell everybody no. And then again, you don't learn. And then usually what I find is that clients can't sustain or maintain it. It's usually then a react to how they were feeling in the moment. Then they usually end up feeling guilty that they did that, and then they go back on it and they don't keep what they said. So it's like a no-win cycle. Awareness also allows for more kindness, generosity, compassion. And many times people don't want to look, because awareness is looking, but it's looking with eyes of curiosity. Like, what's going on here? Not of, oh my God, what did you do wrong? But it's of, gaining the information to be able to really shift into what you truly want. So if you're in the place of thinking, I know I overextend myself. I know my life is way too full, stressful. You're exhausted all the time. You're sick of doing for others and not doing for yourself. Inside, you feel resentful, kind of irritated. Maybe you get sick a lot. You know what you're doing isn't working. And so your opportunity, my friend, is to start to shift the focus from out there and all the things that people are asking you to do and why are they always imposing on you, and go within. Have the willingness to become aware of what you're doing. What is your mind saying to you? Is it telling you, I have to do this or they won't like me? Is it saying, if I don't do this, I won't be a good person? Is it saying, if I don't do this, then I won't be the kind of achiever that I think I should be? If I don't do this, then I won't meet somebody else's expectations. If I don't do this, what are they going to think of me? Go inside yourself. Find out. Become truly aware. It's like you look with a microscope. I'm not a scientist, but I do know from biology, right? You look inside the microscope and you look to see the organisms. You look to see how they move. You get curious about that. Do that with yourself. Take the magnifying glass, take the microscope, check yourself out. What's going on? What's the script that you keep repeating and keep believing is true? Because if you are not happy, exhausted, burned out, burning out, sick all the time, know that you are running a script, and that script is in the way of your changing. It's in the way of your happiness. It's in the way of your health and well-being. You can't run yourself around and wear yourself out and not pay the price for it. A client I have who I recently started working with, he reached out to me because he heard a talk that I gave, and he said, you know, when you ask the question, what's the cost of me doing nothing? And he said, you know, I realized, oh my God, I'm going to be in a worse place than I am right now. And we began working together just a week. And within a week, he ended up with a heart attack. He had gotten himself to such a place of not taking care of himself, of overextending himself, working too hard, burning himself out, procrastinating on things that he needed to do in his life, that he just really got to worst case scenario. So if you're in a place in your life that you are really overextending yourself, know that you will pay the price for it. And I don't say it in a threatening way. I really say it in a way of love and compassion for yourself. Start to see yourself as somebody who is worthy of change. Because if you don't, you're going to get to the place where you are really going to be in a hole. And it's a hole that's going to be harder to step out of. So awareness is the key. And giving yourself the process of discovery is a powerful gift that you give yourself. You deserve it. Nobody else can do this for you. And it really is about coming to understand that if you don't shift the focus from out there to in here, inside of you, you're not going to get what you need. It's so easy to look out there and say they are the problem. Your friends, your family, your co-workers, your community, they're the problem. But that, my friend, is not the problem. The problem is what you're doing with your mind. And you know, thought precedes action. So when you have thoughts running in your mind that do not serve you, it will generate actions that do not serve you. Remember, thought precedes action. You have to change your thinking for your actions to change, which is why when you just jump into action, it never sticks. If you don't do the internal work of really understanding how your mind operates and how it undermines you, you won't get to where you want to go. Why awareness is your key to change and the success that you so want. Take the time, my friend, to get clarity through awareness. Shift the microscope from looking at others and what they're doing wrong to inside of you and say, what am I doing here? What am I saying to myself? What are you saying to yourself that repeatedly gets you into situations you don't want to be in? Where do you repeatedly say yes to things? Where do you repeatedly give your time away and wish you didn't? What's the mantra that you tell yourself, if you don't do this, what? Because what you're filling that sentence in with is what is undermining your happiness, peace of mind, joy, health. Because know that when you don't change these habits, your health has to be sacrificed. You can't run yourself all the time and not have your body be affected by it. It really is the cause and effect. So if your body's breaking down, know that there's something that you're doing in your day-to-day life that is causing that. Your lifestyle, your practices, your consistent commitments to things that are not even important to you, but you do them because somebody else thinks they're important. Again, that's making others more important than you. And my friend, if you don't make yourself the most important person, your life is not going to change. You deserve to have the awareness, acceptance, compassion for yourself to get clarity. Clarity is a gift that you give yourself. And the ripple effect is others benefit as well, because you know that when you're running yourself around, you're not kind to people around you. You're irritable, you're irritated, and they feel it. So to feel your best, to be your best, to give your best to others, the greatest gift you can give is start saying yes to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving yourself the time today to listen in. I'd love to hear your comments and what you found most beneficial today and what you're going to put into practice. I'd love to hear what you need and how this conversation can help you move forward in what you need. And if there's another conversation that you need, please share it with me. So I look forward to being with you next week as we talk about step 2. Tune in. I am Claudia Braun, Mindset, Lifestyle, EFT coach for women ready to start saying yes to themselves. Don't forget to get the 3 strategies to say yes to you. It is in the link in the show notes. Look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.